Am I the a-hole for refusing to give up my dog for my dad's fiancée and her son? Original post. I'm really upset about this right now. I'm 17 female. My parents divorced when I was 12. It was really rough. They pretty much hate each other and still have trouble doing anything together where I'm concerned. I try not to talk about them to each other and just keep things separate. All the fighting and chaos was hard on me. It was affecting my mood and schoolwork when it was all going down. So, my dad felt bad and let me have a dog to help me feel better. Someone nearby had Malamute puppies, so I picked out one and his name is Tycho and he's my best friend. Even on the weeks I'm with my mom, I stop by after school every day to take him to the dog park to play and get his cuddles in. I love this dog. My dad started dating Melanie a few years ago. I don't really connect with her. We're just really different and she's way too touchy. But she makes my dad happy, so whatever. Her son Ben, 9 male, is autistic and needs a lot of accommodations. He gets really upset and has meltdowns when things change or are done differently. He's also really scared of Tycho, even though as far as I know, Tycho has never done anything to scare him. He's a really laid-back and well-behaved dog. Dad and Melanie recently got engaged, and they want to go ahead and move her and Ben in so that they can get rid of their apartment and save money. My dad told me about it and said that since Ben is afraid of Tycho and needs a stable environment at home, Tycho is going to have to go somewhere else. My mom's townhouse doesn't have room for him, and my grandparents aren't in good enough health to look after a big dog, so we would have to rehome him. I admit I didn't take it very well, and we had a big fight. I told him that no way was I going to give up my dog, and I'm going to college next year anyway, so they can put off the move until the spring when I can find a place to take him with me. My dad says they need to do the move over the holidays and Ben is more important than a dog. I told him if he gives away my dog, I'll never forgive him, and that he obviously thinks Ben is more important than me too. My dad is mad now because I'm making this a choice between me and his fiancé basically. Melanie's having second thoughts about the engagement since I don't want to live with them. My mom is mad at my dad and they're fighting again. And I'm afraid to leave Tycho alone because he might not be there when I get back. My aunt says I'm being childish and that my dad deserves to be happy. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Info, why do they need to move over the holidays? Seems arbitrary. I think it's something to do with her lease or something. I don't know. Maybe also having time to move. My dad just said that it would be a lot more trouble and expensive to wait. What a lame excuse. Basically, it's just about convenience. Then saving some money and not going through the trouble of waiting is more important than allowing you to keep your dog. OMG, your dad really sucks. Info, can you stay with your grandparents? I'm going to see if they would be willing. They could probably use the help anyway. But my dad is going to throw a fit, and I don't want him to make things hard on them either. I'm going to talk to them this afternoon after school. Why would your dad throw a fit? He wants the dog to go so his new family can move in. You've said it clearly you want the dog to be with you. Surely this is a solution that fits the criteria? They've been fighting over custody stuff since the divorce and my dad is super strict about time. He won't want me to move totally out, but I'll have to if Tycho goes to my mom's or grandparents to take care of him. I guess my mom wins if that happens. Since your intention is to take him with you when you move out, is it possible to have someone you know foster him for a few months? The dog, not the crotch critter. Would your grandparents be able to manage it for a short time, or can you stay with them to help them out for a few months? I'm going to talk to my grandparents again this afternoon, I think. I'm so afraid my dad is just going to take Tycho while I'm at school. So I might just grab him and take him to my mom's for a couple of days until I can figure something out. She doesn't have a yard, and the place is too small for a big dog long term. Maybe if I can move in with the grands, I can help them out with the chores, the property, and keep my dog with me. They have plenty of room. My dad won't like that though, and I'm guessing there's going to be another lawyer showdown if I do that. Now for the updates. I talked to my mom and grandparents after school. I brought Tycho to my mom's place this afternoon, and I'm going to take him to my grandparents tomorrow. I'm going to split time between them and my mom for a while, and my grandparents said that if I go to college nearby, I can live with them while I study to make sure I don't lose my dog. So I'm going to look at maybe doing 2 years at a local college, and then transferring to a university later. I haven't told my dad yet, but I will after I get Tycho settled tomorrow. I already went online and made sure his chip information is up to date with all of my info and my mom's place as backup. pretty sure all hell is going to break loose. But honestly, I'd do almost anything to not lose my dog, including just not going to college right now if that's what I have to do. He takes care of me, so I have to take care of him. Second update. It's been a rough few days. My dad flipped his lid when I told him I wasn't coming back to his place, and he and my mom are duking it out right now. My mom's lawyer asked me a bunch of questions and then said not to worry about it. Melanie called to find out what was going on, so I told her that if living with her and Ben means I'll lose my dog, I'm just not going to live there anymore. And she tried to talk me out of it because my dad didn't want to lose me, but I told her that's just how it is. I think they're fighting now too. My grandparents said my dad is being totally unreasonable and is not allowed to come on their property. Gonna be a fun Christmas. I'm just going to stay at my grandparents' and try to keep my head down until I go back to school. But Tycho seems to like it here. He has a lot more space to run around and still gets to sleep next to my bed, so he's happy at least. Final update. Okay, last update. So Melanie broke it off with my dad. My dad didn't talk to me for a while, but he finally asked to have lunch. So my grandpa went with me because he wanted to make sure I was safe and my dad didn't yell at me. My dad apologized for trying to make me give up Tycho and wants me to come back home. I told him I would come visit, but I'm still afraid he'll take my dog. Living with my grandparents has also been really nice. It's quiet, they appreciate me helping out with the farm, and my grandma's teaching me how to cook. He wasn't happy but said he understood, and we worked out a plan for me to visit for dinner a few days on the weeks that used to be his weeks. And I'm dropping by to see my mom most days on her weeks, but spending most of my time with my grandparents. I got a scholarship to the local branch of the state university, and it's only an hour and some away, and has the degree program I want, so I think I'm going to go there for at least the first 2 years. I'm going to talk to admissions about getting a waiver from living on campus since I'm helping my grandparents. Both my parents are going to chip in on an allowance for me and Tycho while I'm in school. My mom says my grandparents can relax more and are feeling better with me there. Also, they love Tycho being around now too. So it's the best option for everyone and I'll be able to budget for vet visits and everything. My dad is still mad at my mom and Melanie, but he doesn't want me to miss out on college. And he seems to be more himself after the first week of visits. Thank you all for the advice. I'm so relieved this has worked out. I've had so much anxiety over Christmas about all of this, but I get to keep Tycho. Things are mending with my dad and I'm on track for college. Trying to get rid of your kid's beloved pet for a new love interest is a surefire way to alienate them. He broke his kid's trust. It's really hard to come back from that. You can see it in her post. Even though the fiancé isn't in the picture anymore, she's still scared that her father's going to take away her dog. And there's always going to be this voice in the back of Opie's head asking, if Melanie didn't leave him, would he have still admitted he was wrong? Would he have still tried to make me get rid of the dog? And there's nothing her father can do to truly answer that question for her. That repeated fear that dad would secretly steal the dog away just gutted me. That is a huge weight to live with, at a level of distrust that you don't come back from. My dad apologized for trying to make me give up Tycho and wants me to come back home. I told him I would come visit, but I'm still afraid he'll take my dog. Dad doesn't realize how much trust he has broken with his daughter. To Dad, Tycho is just a dog, but to Opie, Tycho is like a brother. He was there for Opie when her parents weren't. Her father threatened Opie's family. Tycho is part of her family, and all because they couldn't wait just a few months. Apologies don't restore trust. Forgiveness means the conflict is settled, but that doesn't mean you'll be trusted next time. I think her trust was broken long ago. Maybe because of my own trauma I'm reading too much between the lines, but she hasn't learned how to cook. Her dad gets fired up at the notion she'll live somewhere else, and she comments about how quiet it is at her grandparents, when she hasn't experienced her dad's partner and kid living with her yet. Something tells me that her dad generally isn't the best. And Grandpa had to come with her to make sure her dad didn't yell at her or make a scene. Something tells me that not everything is okay with this man. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my son he has to go to university, get a job, or get out? My wife and I have 3 children. They are 17, 15, and 10. My oldest has no intention to do anything after high school, or at least none he has made clear to us. So I gave him the same ultimatum my parents gave me. Either go to university, get a job, or GTFO. I chose to travel the world for 2 years. I had a lot of sailing experience, and my father had a lot of friends in that community, so I was able to sail around the world, earning money and working my butt off. It wasn't a 2-year vacation. My family's well off, and I could have chosen an indolent life, but I knew I would be a disappointment if I chose that. So, when I got back, I enrolled in university and eventually went to work for the family business. My wife thinks I'm being unfair to our poor baby boy, throwing him out into the world. I'm not. We have the money to pay for his university. We have the money for all 3 kids. My middle child will probably end up with a good chunk of it in her pocket. She's on track for an academic as well as a golf scholarship. The 10-year-old is 10, and who knows what he's going to do. But he knows the plan. We have not been secretive about this rule. My wife and I agreed that we would raise productive members of society before we got engaged. But now, heard my son think I'm being cruel to expect him to fend for himself at 18. I have offered him multiple opportunities to do other things, but he has no interest in anything beyond his computer. I am at a loss. I don't think I'm wrong for expecting an adult to adult. My parents have already told him that they will not be giving him any money if he isn't in school or working, but my wife is threatening to use her salary to support him. I don't have any say in that. I won't actually kick him out of the house, but I will stop paying his bills and cut off our grocery budget by 20%. If she wants to work so he doesn't have to, there is nothing I can do about that. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, assuming that a trade school, apprenticeship, or community college would also be acceptable. That's school or a job, so yes. Then I think you should be very concerned about why a 17-year-old doesn't have plans or ambitions. But you're not the a-hole for having expectations that he either be in school or working. It's not fending for oneself when the parents tell the kids, go to university, we pay for it, you stay under our roof. Or, work, keep your money to yourself, you stay under our roof. Or, choose to do nothing with your life and you'll have to fend for yourself. Not at all. You don't even give him ultimatums about what to study or what job to take. He could bum around from major to major or from minimum wage job to another, while figuring out what he wants to do with his life, with all expenses paid. He's not going to get sudden inspiration on how to spend his adult life by staying home and doing nothing. Not the a-hole for actually parenting your kid. This comment could not be said enough. Opie's wife and son are acting like he has to be a doctor or get kicked out. Like, no, just do something productive. Not the a-hole, but all your efforts will be pointless if you and your wife can't get on the same page. I think you need to talk this out further with her. Try and make her see you're helping him in the long run by making a firm boundary on this. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not attending my cousin's wedding because they sent my invite to my parents' house? My 26 female first cousin, Kyle 30 male, got married a few months ago and I didn't go because I wasn't officially invited. Now I'm getting heat from my family and I'm wondering if I'm the a-hole. I say this because my other cousin, Kyle's sister, messaged me a month before the wedding. And she's like, hey, you going to the wedding in November? And I was like, oh, I don't think so. I haven't been invited to any weddings. She explained that my invite had been sent to my parents' house. But here's the kicker. They all know I'm estranged from my mom and dad. We haven't talked in 2 years. So obviously no one told me about my invite even if I was invited. Plus, I haven't lived at home in 8 years. And I've moved to 2 different major cities in that time. So this is where I might have been the a-hole. I said that I was never actually invited to the wedding. No one asked me where my address was, and I'm not just going to ask Kyle where my invite went and risk inviting myself to the wedding. If he really wanted me there, he would have made an effort to contact me himself. Therefore, I was never actually invited and I won't be attending. She left me on red, and I never heard from them on Christmas. Some of my friends understand, but others think I'm being stubborn and the groom may have been too busy to worry about my invite, while my entire family's ignoring me. What do you all think? Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Yeah, just explain that you didn't go because you thought you weren't invited, and you didn't know about it because you don't talk to your parents. I would apologize to your cousin for not going and say you didn't know he wanted you there. Thank you. This is good advice. Agreed. A nice gesture to smooth things over would be to offer a wedding gift and or plan to visit with them in the new year to celebrate. Not the a-hole. They know you don't speak to your parents. And a month beforehand, they found out you never received an invite. If Kyle had wanted you there, he should have personally called you, apologized for not having your address correct, and asked if you could attend. It is a phone call that would take a few minutes. Your family sucks for ignoring you over this. This is a situation they created. Personally, it sounds to me like someone in that family group, probably aunt or uncle, was trying to force Opie to see/speak to her parents. Why else would they send the invite there when she hasn't lived there for 8 years? Why would they hear about Opie's text reply and a groom not follow up? Not a-hole. And now for the update. Thanks for letting me know what you think. I will reach out to Kyle and wish him well on his marriage. I will just say I wasn't expecting people to be so mean about mine and my parents' estrangement. But I will say that I will never regret stopping the mistreatment as soon as I could. I hope if you're in the same situation, you'll find strength to do the same. Cheers!